Okay, hi everyone. My name is Tim Clayton. I'm the Career Space Coordinator here at Trent University, both in our Durham campus as well as our Peterborough campus. So I wanted to talk to you a bit about our career services here at Trent today. So we offer quite a lot of online resources that are all built in through our website as well as the Student Experience Portal. Student Experience Portal at Trent is pretty important because it's where you access all of the services, things like, academic advising, skills, student accessibility services, but also all of your careers team as well as the job board of Trent as well. We also offer a pretty cool service that's called What Can I Do with My Degree? So this allows you to explore all the sort of skills that are built in to like to your natural degree path, and then to explore kind of the natural career fits within that degree program. We do a lot on YouTube, so we record a lot of videos for students as well to kind of get a sense of how to apply to jobs, things like mock interviews and skills for that. We've got some good tip sheets and equity resources that we keep up to date, and those are really yeah, good, quick resources. Just if you're trying to understand some aspect of how to apply to jobs, we've got some good career tools as well for you to better understand your skills and also kind of to try to help naturally identify like what are those career resources that might best fit you. And we've got a pretty robust website for all of this as well, so you can check us out online at Trent Career Space as well. So while you're a Trent student, there's lots of ways to gain experience, also through your courses, of course, but there's things like labs, there's the co-op program. Many programs here at Trent offer a placement option. As once you reach fourth year, oftentimes placements are pretty well like fully integrated into the program that you're doing. There's the Trent Community-Based Research Center, which is a great way if I'm just to gain some great experience, like as an undergrad student. You can also do a thesis as well, which is kind of tied to that kind of community-based research. There's lots of cool clubs and associations, volunteering opportunities, some great on-campus positions as well. So while you're a student, all of that can be found through our student job board. There's also the local chambers of commerce. So a lot of our students will often find they can attend some of the chambers of commerce. And a chamber of commerce is like a local business association. So there's a lot of small communities here between Peterborough and also Durham. And pretty well all the chambers of commerce are very active with our students. So they're inviting them out to things like, career fairs, also networking sessions. So we do a lot with the chambers. It's quite a proud partnership that we have. I also wanted to highlight just the variety of the differences when it comes to EL opportunities. So we do have our co-op program, which is a bit more formal. It's structured into, say, your four-year degree. It's where you're getting up to 12 months of paid experience, doing 4 months at a time. And all of that has to be paid. And you wouldn't be doing a course while you're out on co-op because it is a full-time job. There's also, for some programs, there's things like field placements. There's also paid internships. These can vary. Sometimes with internships, it's more up to you, the student, to decide if you want to go out for, let's say, 8 months all the way up to 12 months. That could delay your graduation, but conversely, you're getting some great full-time paid experience for you to go out and do that paid internship. Field placements, or just placements in general, are typically where you're doing the equivalent of a course, except the coursework is the actual project that you're doing for that placement. And there's some great options out there for that. That's often sometimes how students are able to get jobs even before they graduate. Really, all three of these are a great way for students to get that kind of real world experience, for the employer to get to know them. And there's often some great job offers that will come from those experiences as well. Wanted to highlight, we've got a really cool micro-credential here at Trent now that's been running for about 4 years. This one allows you to sort of signal to an employer that you've been through a university program when it comes to your career readiness. So it's arming you with all of the skills, but also developing things like your resume. And all of that's a great way to kind of, communicate to an employer that you're a bit job ready because you've been through some of those career prep skills. This then becomes a digital badge that you can display on things like your LinkedIn or also share to an employer. It's become a pretty popular thing, I think, for students to do really at all year levels. Some students will do it right at year one. Others might wait a bit towards the end of their degree to take that on, but it's something you can do all throughout. It's free and it's included with all of your awesome career services here at Trent. Also wanted to highlight a bit about the co-op program. So co-op, as Connor mentioned, is a direct entry program that you apply to. You can also apply to transfer in during the first year while you're here at Trent. So that's offering up to 12 months of paid experience. Typically, a work term is going to be anywhere from 12 to 16 weeks. About 420 hours is the minimum for that, and paid. Students have, full agency to explore jobs. We provide lots of great job opportunities for you to apply to, and that's part of our role here in the careers team to support you throughout that whole application process, as well as while you're out on the co-op work experience as well. So you're still very much in touch with our office throughout that. It is a pretty competitive program just to gain entry to, but there's still lots of great opportunities while you're here at Trent during your first year to still transfer into those programs as well. And also work terms are not for academic credit. That's kind of on purpose because co-op, again, it's really about skill building. It's not tied to a particular course or even that particular program that you're studying so much as it is the actual skill building while you're out on that co-op work term. Got quite a wide variety of programs now, over 30 programs here at Trent that now have the co-op option embedded. Things like our new AI program, which is both in the Bachelor of Arts as well as the Bachelor of Science program, are pretty cool and also very timely for the job market as well. Computer science as well, very popular, and also some really interesting ones, things like media studies. There's some great job opportunities in that as well. I'd also invite you to just visit our website. If you just go to CareerSpace, you'll see a co-op button there as well, and you can explore all of these a bit further. Some additional co-op programs as well, even two new ones at the graduate level. So things like arts management and even the new chemical analysis program as well. But there's some other ones, things like if you were interested in let's say the accounting program, that's a great one for co-op because a lot of the pathways to becoming an accountant really want you to have some of that applied work experience. And so doing an accounting co-op, especially when it comes to things like tax preparation, that's a big aspect of what our co-op students are often hired to do. Some of the sample work experiences we've seen our co-op students do, really, again, some great opportunities when it comes to things like, government, policy review, even things like grant writing are quite a popular job role. But in the cybersecurity space, data analytics, a lot of how should an organization actually use AI? What's the right way to sort of implement it? Even things like software web development are becoming pretty popular when it comes to student work and projects. Even in the banking sector, there's a need for things like psychology majors to sort of understand and even detect things like cyber fraud. So I've seen, a lot of organizations that sometimes I think we're not aware of, that we're not thinking of. They're actually hiring for some of the more technical areas as well. So it really spans quite a wide variety. I think our co-op students have a lot of flexibility when it comes to the type of jobs that are out there and that you can consider. I wanted to touch a bit on the student experience portal and as well as the steps after you graduate as well. So our student experience portal, as I mentioned, becomes the main job board, both while you're a student, but also after you graduate. That's important again, because we often get, students who have graduated maybe 3-4 years ago and are now back posting jobs from the organizations that they're working at. But it's also like a community job board. So it's where those that are interacting with Trent for other things might also be needing to hire. So I often say to students, it's a job board that isn't really public, right? It's not a job board that you're going to see some of the same jobs on Indeed or other large public job boards, because they need to hire a student, or they need to hire somebody that's in their upper year, or somebody over the summer that might be studying a particular field. So it's a pretty important job board for you to always be watching. You also gain access to it for life, so you can always come back to job search on the job board at Trent, even after you graduate. And I think that's pretty cool. It's a way for you to stay connected with us, and again, just see opportunities that you maybe wouldn't see, elsewhere. What a typical job posting looks like in the system. They're all kind of a standardized format. We always point out what the student eligibility criteria are too. So if there's something specific, you have to be a particular type of student, or even an upper year student, a graduate student, let's say. All of that's going to be captured in the job posting, and then you would apply right through the portal here. You'd submit your application directly into the job portal for that particular job as well. The other thing I often say to students, you almost have to keep a watch on a secondary job board. This one is called Outcome Campus Connect. It's a way for schools to share jobs, for other schools to be able to post and promote their jobs. So anytime you see that link there that's highlighted on your screen, Outcome Campus Connect, or you see this little red icon circle, it's coming from the broader network. Of other institutions. There's around 90 other Canadian institutions that all share this same portal system, and it allows them to post other student jobs as well. So it's not about at that stage you're seeing these postings, it's not about you being a Trent student. Let's say it's the fact that you are a student. And sometimes it's attached to funding or other reasons that they're trying to source a student. So again, it's like a secondary job board. I'm often telling students, be aware of this, be checking, because these again may not be publicly available jobs you're going to see elsewhere, because it's all tied to the fact that you are a student as well. Some of the general job boards. So I do a lot of work, of course, with the large like the large public job boards, all the kind of main job boards that we see a lot out there online these days. But there's also some more, what else? Yeah, I've got to say that are a bit more student specific. Things like Talent Ag in Canada are great if you're a student, for some of those like early talent career opportunities as well. There's also a few like industry specific job boards that we work with. Things like BioTalent in Canada is a bit more for things like, pharmaceutical industries, other healthcare related research, that sort of thing. Charity Village is a great one if you're in the sort of social sciences, also for things like volunteer opportunities. Um, we also do a lot of work with our local sort of workforce development boards. This is where there's a lot of good insights when it comes to labor market, yeah, like information, insights for your local region, for the demands for jobs as well. So there's a lot of good data, but there's also real jobs for those as well. So we do a lot of work in different capacities with really all of these organizations. Again, some have some awesome programs just for students. Others, it's a bit more future career path, and the sort of careers that you want to be aware of as you're studying, but also as you're approaching the end of your degree program as well. In Durham, I do a lot of work with our local workforce development board. So as I mentioned, this is a job board actually just for Durham. So it's automatically pulling from all of the usual online job boards, but then it's also filtering on jobs just for Durham. And there's also some great search and sort features if you're a co-op student, if you're, let's say, a first year student just looking for a bit of part-time work. Lots of great ways to filter and sort. So yeah, nonprofit organizations like this really are great to get connected to. You can learn a lot, I think, about the job trends, what's kind of happening in your region as well. So this happens to be one that I'm connected to just because I'm here in Durham, but Peterborough has a very similar workforce development board resource as well. The tip sheets and equity resources, I think, are pretty important to highlight to students as well. These change pretty often. You know, it's a resource that we're always trying to keep updated of some of that current information. But they're short, they're very practical. They're ways for you to sort of tailor, you know, customize your resume. We do a lot of work with students, of course, when it comes to resume writing and even things like cover letter writing, because different industries, of course, will want you to have, you know, different job application materials. And so we want to sort of get you best prepared for those different types of industries that you might be applying to, and just yeah, sort of know the best way to highlight and capture your skills to present those to employers as well. So that tends to be a lot of the one-to-one career advising that we do with students, but it's also just around job search as well. But often then, because of that job search, you're going to need to develop things like you know, resume to apply for that specific job. So that's a lot of the sort of on the ground work that we do with our students here at CareerSpace. The what can I do with my degree that I mentioned before, pretty cool because it's all online, it's all digital. We also have some printed information as well. And there again, that's something we try to keep updated all the time with new sample jobs and you know, relevant skills specific to your degree program. So really understand like what is that natural career path, but what are some of the skills that you might want to think about developing as well. So beyond what you're studying, there might be some you know, domain specific skills that you might want to go off and do. You know, like a small micro credential, or you might want to gain a bit of volunteer experience to kind of build out yeah, yourself and be career ready, so that the employer knows that you have those skills coming in to that field. So this becomes a kind of living document, if you like, something that we're are pretty proud of to work with students on, and to showcase kind of those natural career paths that fit your degree. Also wanted to highlight that we do hire on campus as well. So all through the student experience portal, this is where any available job postings for students are posted. Typically, a lot of the departments will do their hiring just around now when they're leading up to summer, or during the summer when it comes to fall. So kind of mid to late summer is when you'll begin to see those like fall and winter job postings, and anywhere from sort of February to April is when you're seeing positions posted for summer. Great opportunity, I think, for students to network a bit internally, also with their departments to get to know the staff, the faculty, and just some really cool student positions when it comes to things like, you know, planning student events, also working directly with students. And I've certainly met a lot of yeah, great student staff, and you know, gotten to know their positions pretty well here at Trent. I'd say it's also important to always keep a watch for networking events. This is a big part of our job here at Trent as well in the careers team, to kind of always be, you know, on the lookout for some of those large community events, conferences. You know, I also mentioned that things like the Chambers of Commerce host a lot of these events. But we also run our own job fairs. So we have the Volunteer Expo that runs every September. That's a great way if you're just looking for some sort of volunteer experience. It's all organizations that are yeah, directly seeking volunteer roles. But we also do things like our Graduate Further Education Expo, the Career Expos, job fairs run both in Durham as well as Peterborough. We typically do them in the fall as well as the winter term. So January, February, and March. There's three, and there's also one in either October or yeah, sometime in the fall there. Again, really to capture different employers that are hiring at different times. Things like roles in you know, government. Sometimes you need to be thinking 6 months to a year in advance, because it can take quite a long time to apply and you know, even get into those industries. Others, it might be a bit more seasonal. They might be hiring just about a term ahead. So that's why we're offering career expos kind of at all points of the year. There's also cool ones that are called Life After Trent events. This is where it'll be partnered with an external industry member that will come to Trent, and we'll do kind of a half day activity with students, things like a panel event, understanding career journeys. How did they get into their career path? Um, um, and what does that look like for them as someone who also went through a Trent program. So those are great, I think, again, depending on what you're studying here, to kind of see and hear from students that weren't students that long ago. They've just recently graduated. Now they're coming back to speak and connect with you. So lots of great things we do career-wise. We tend to work a lot with students in different programs to promote these. And I think I'll end there, just to invite you to always connect with us through things like our social media accounts, but also through our website. And also to mention again, that student experience portal becomes pretty important for you to book those one-to-one appointments with us, and just to hear and see all the great things that we're doing. So thank you for your time today.